Baseball greetings from Chicago. We're here on this Sunday afternoon. You might need a hug the way that this season series has gone so far. It's the Pirates and the Cubs here from Wrigley Field. And welcome into the booth. Joe Block along with John Wayner with you today. And in this affair, it's been a 5-0 start for the Cubs against the Pirates thus far. But the Pirates are 9 games back out of first place. They've been in this position before, even in late June the last couple of seasons. So it's just 5 games in a long season series.
And 14 to go against these Cubs. And Garrett Cole gets his crack again at the Cubs this afternoon. Not a good time for Garrett, his last start against the Cubs. But he had a great start his last time against the St. Louis Cardinals on Mother's Day. Only gave up a couple of runs. His stuff may have been the best we've seen it all year, especially the curveball. He got the swing and miss going. The slider was sharp as well, and he always has that good fastball. So we're looking for him to put an end to this little losing streak against the Cubs.
And he's been good in games where the Pirates have lost the day before, too.
Yes, they have. 26-14, the team record in Cole starts following a loss. He's 21-11 with just a 2.72 ERA after a Pirates loss. His last 5 starts against the Cubs, not so good. And I think that's another reason why Garrett Cole will be good today. He's chomping at the bit.
And it's no easy task against this Cubs lineup either, because they score the most runs in baseball. And, you know, all the young players that we hear about, and Jake Arrieta and his fine performance yesterday, Anthony Rizzo's a guy that really doesn't get talked about a whole lot.
And he should. I mean, he is one of the great young hitters in baseball. Andrew McCutchen, we've obviously seen him, and guys like Paul Goldschmidt. Well, we're going to start talking, or at least the world is going to start talking about Anthony Rizzo. This guy has been impressive. He stands on the dish. He challenges you to pitch inside. He can turn around the inside pitch. You go away, you can hit it out of the ballpark. Against Jeff Locke yesterday, a breaking ball hung. He hit that out of the ballpark, and he and his teammates are off to an incredible start.
Yeah, it's not just Rizzo. This is a very deep lineup, and it's not just against the Pirates. They're averaging better than 6 runs a game, and it's really everybody up and down. I mean, the Pirates have had a good offense this year, but the Cubs have been the best so far. And it is always a very difficult challenge to try to beat these guys. We'll see if the Pirates can do that today. And they'll have an extra arm in their bullpen as we look at our Allegheny Health Network injury report today as the Pirates make a roster move, bringing Corey Luebke back to the fold.
Yeah, he's off the DL. He was down there rehabbing. He may be that guy that Clint Hurdle might want to go to if there's a big situation later in the game with a guy like Rizzo up there to make it a little more uncomfortable. Maybe you can get the lefty Luebke to come up with a big out late in the ballgame.
A.J. Schugel option back to AAA Indianapolis. It pitched yesterday. He is back down in Indy, and here John Lester will get the nod for the Cubs, and we'll talk about him coming up next here on Root Sports. done well against left-handers so far this season, although Lester is one of the toughest ones in the business.
Yeah, before he came to Chicago, he was one of the best lefties in the American League in Boston. And now Chicago, not off to a great start with the Cubs, but this year he's been outstanding. The pitching staff as a whole has been outstanding. First in ERA, opponent average, ground ball percentage. Very efficient, too. Pitches per inning. The Cubs staff has been outstanding.
That's brought to you by Barrel, and the fewest runs allowed in all of baseball, too, per game. And John Lester has definitely done his part.
Yes, he has. This guy, he throws a lot of fastballs, a lot of cutters. He'll mix in a curveball and a very rare changeup. But this guy, he might give up some hits. He might walk you. But when you get on base, he's very difficult to hit. We saw that last time out. Bases loaded, nobody out. He was able to turn it up a notch, get out of that inning without giving up anything. He had another guy on third, one-out situation where he didn't give up a run there either. He can get strikeouts when he needs them. And you see so far the ERA sub a 2 ERA. Gave up 3 though against the Padres his last time up. He could be hit. The key is trying to hit him with runners on base.
Yeah, Clint Hurdle talked about it in his pregame chat too. The Pirates had him on the ropes in that game. He even left with a couple of runners on in the 6th inning of that game. The Pirates have to capitalize on opportunities against this very good Cubs team. And now today, with the left-hander on the mound too, we've been seeing Jordy Mercer as the leadoff man, and again, he'll get that role today.
So unique to have a guy that hits 8th most of the time to turn around and bat leadoff, but Jordy Mercer has been great. He's always been good against left-handed pitching. He has been great out of this leadoff spot so far this year. He's hit the ball out of the ballpark we saw in Arizona. He's driving the ball in the gap we saw in Denver, Colorado. He could spray the ball around. He's been drawing his walks as well this year. He's been setting the table. Very nice job from Jordy out of that leadoff spot.
Yeah, hitting .323 in his career against lefties. That's 11th best in all of baseball since he began his career, and he's just joining all the Bucks against southpaws.
Yeah, all these guys like hitting lefties, and we don't even have Andrew McCutchen up there, and historically he's been a lefty killer as well. So it's been nice to see all these guys chipping in. Sean Rodriguez, David Freese especially will get their opportunities against left-handed pitching. Now that Freese is on the bench, but Rodriguez has done a good job. The whole bench has done a good job, but these guys against lefties are going to bring it.
And the Pirates offense has been one of the best in baseball this season. It's 5th best in runs scored per game, yet this Cubs offense is even better, and their pitching has been the best so far. So I think they're getting a little bit overshadowed by Chicago this afternoon as we see the presentation of the colors here on a Sunday afternoon at Wrigley Field. Pirates hoping for one game out of this series, as the Cubs have won the first 2 here at Wrigley Field. And it's Sunday, so why don't we hear God Bless America and our national anthem.
Followed by our national anthem.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, wide with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly was regular, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Three this weekend set against the Cubs. Pirates trying to pull out one game of the series. And how will they do it? Let's look at our Rivers Casino tips to win.
Yeah, you know what? Against the lefty, we get Sean Rodriguez in the starting lineup. David Freese back in the starting lineup. We want the backups to shine. They have shined all year long, whether it be Rodriguez or Matt Joyce has done a wonderful job. And against a guy like Lester today, Rodriguez has faced him more than anybody, but you're hoping that those guys can come through, help this team along with the regulars to come off with a victory. And you also need to be aggressive on the bases. Everybody should know by now, John Lester cannot throw over the first base. He has quickened up his time to the plate, but still, he doesn't throw over the first. You can take advantage of him on the bases, and hopefully that'll help the Pirates score an extra run or two. But most importantly for me is you got to shut down the middle of this lineup. You know, Bryant, Rizzo, Zobrist, they could beat you in so many ways, especially with the long ball. You got to at least contain them. Hopefully shut them down this afternoon.
And let's go back to Paul Alexander. He's got a game break for us.
Thank you very much, Joe. Well, most of you familiar with baseball know David Ortiz, Big Papi, is a big deal. Going to retire after this year. He is certainly going out on top, at least so far the way he's played this year. Big impact yesterday against the Astros. 5-4 game, bottom of the ninth. There's Ortiz at the plate. He triples. That's a run-producing triple that will take it to extra innings. And guess who comes through in the 11th inning? That's right, Big Papi. Now one of only 3 in Major League history, joining Hank Aaron and Barry Bonds with over 600 doubles and over 500 home runs He did hit home run number 513 in the ball game. Big Papi, the hero, yesterday. Reds and Phillies played a class one last night. In the ninth, Phillies leading by a one-run game. And watch Goodell here. Comes up firing. Eugenio Suarez tries to score. It's reviewed. He's out. Phillies hold on to win it by the score of 4-3. It's the Pirates and the Cubs. Game 3 of their 3-game set. It's all ready to go from Wrigley. We'll get you there in just a moment, right here on Root Sports.
Thanks for coming today. I want to
For the Cubs this afternoon, and the Pirates 3 straight day games, having some fun before this one, the finale, game 3 here on a Sunday afternoon. And it's play ball weekend. Baseball's initiative to get youngsters out there playing ball any which way. And let's look at our RAV4 lineup for the Buccos this afternoon. Jordy Mercer atop the lineup, and then Andrew McCutchen, 8-game hitting streak and really hot the last couple of games, especially a pair of home runs. David Freese gets the start over at first base, then Starling Marte cleans up. Cervelli Gung in there for the 3rd straight day. Josh Harrison, Sean Rodriguez mans right field with the lefty on the mound, and then Garrett Cole.
Pretty impressive numbers from the left-handed veteran John Lester. The Bucks get to face this afternoon. Last year, his first year as a Cub, was 11-12 with a 3.34 ERA. Those numbers have improved. 4-1, 196. Opponents hit just 222 against him. Not very many walks either, just 10 next to 42 punch-outs.
And you were talking earlier about, the efforts in the running game. If the game dictates it, talking with Clint Hurdle before the game about that, the Pirates have only stolen 3 bases in the last 4 starts against John Lester. His 4 starts as a Cub against the Pirates. So that's on the agenda today. Starting off on time at 1:20 here in Chicago. Winds blowing east at 11 miles an hour. It's 45 to start this one.
And Jordy, good fastball hitter, likes facing the lefties, got a good fastball. Might be tough to hit one out here this afternoon with the wind blowing straight in from center.
And it has all morning too. No fronts expected to move through, so we should expect that for most of the day. Everyone thinks this is a big home run ballpark. It can be, but there's actually been fewer home runs here this year in the same amount of games than at Petco Park in San Diego. So reputation precedes itself. Mercer makes the first out. And the Honda defense for this afternoon. Javier Baez over at third base. And Joe Madden likes him over there, figuring he gets a lot of action at third. So Chris Bryant moves out to left field. Otherwise, standard fare with David Ross, as he always does, the catching for John Lester. '39-year-old backstop. Now Andrew McCutchen, 8-game hitting streak. Has always hit well here. And an average creeping up, 261. Seems like every year, once the calendar flips to May.
Yep, he's one of the best, especially in the middle months.
April showers bring May flowers for McCutchen. Rizzo able to make the second out. And Lester continuing his mastery against McCutchen, now 2 for 17.
And you know, not an overpowering left-hander. Has a good fastball. Early in this game, he's up to 94. He averages around 92 miles per hour with it. Has a good cutter. And I think that's kind of been a difference maker for him so far this year. That cutter has had good movement. He's had good command of it.
David Freese is the first baseman today. And Jaso doesn't start against lefties. Freese making his second start over there. I'm trying to get him some playing time with Jung Ho Gung back, and Gung playing 3 straight days now.
You can expect Freese will be in there against every left-handed starter, and he'll also play beyond that. He'll get some starts against righties as well. Established veteran. I would think a guy like David Freese would probably prefer righties, because you figure throughout his whole life and career he's faced more righties than lefties. You know.
Yeah, not a lot of lefties around. Freese works the 2-out walk.
There you go. 58% fastballs. The cut fastball a quarter of the time. Curveball. Sometimes he'll throw it up there to get a swing and miss. Sometimes he'll just flip it in there for a strike. Opponents don't hit it very often. And the changeup.
Just for show.
Just a handful of times a game.
Freese aboard for the cleanup man, Marte. Starling at 329.
You know, interesting. The package we showed in the open with Lester pitching out of the jam the last time at PNC Park. I want to say it was a changeup that he got Marte in a critical situation, which goes to show you he doesn't throw it a lot, but he'll throw it when he feels he needs to. You know, you would think for a guy that, you know, who only throws a changeup a handful of times, you know, to throw it with the bases loaded shows that, you know, I don't use it a lot, but that doesn't mean I don't have enough confidence to use it in a critical situation.
Getting a chase there, 1-2.
And that was the changeup. Not a lot of separation in the velocity. It's at 87 miles per hour, but you see the late movement, and it never was in the strike zone, but still got Marte to chase.
Freese aboard with 2 outs. 1-2. And the Pirates are, like we were saying before, they're going to pick their spots and when to run. Freese is not a guy that has even attempted to steal this year, but if they get the guys on that steal basis, Clint Hurdle was saying this morning about, we're going to be aggressive, and we need to be more aggressive than we have been, and we need to be smarter, especially with the secondary leads, as we saw Sean Rodriguez getting backpicked in the last start against Leicester.
And then he's quickened his delivery up to the plate, so he's not as easy as he was in the past.
Strike 3 call, a fastball on the outer edge. 2-out walk left stranded, and the Cubs coming up. Cubs manager, as he has filled out his lineup card for this afternoon, and we've got the exclusive. Fowler, Hayward, and Bryant in left field today, and then Rizzo. It's so good against the Pirates, really good against pretty much everybody. Zobrist, the switch hitter, then Russell, Baez at third today. Ross does the catching for John Lester.
And Garrett Cole, he wants to put an end to this. Very competitive guy, going for his 4th win this afternoon, 7th start, 32 strikeouts, 12 walks. Opponents hitting .262, just 2 long balls. But Garrett Cole, that bothers him that the league hits .262 against him, and his stuff's just too good. Last time we mentioned it, threw more curveballs. One of the few times really he threw more curveballs than sliders. I think some days it just the better pitch for him, and so he'll go to that more often than the slider.
First one into Fowler, Dexter Fowler. Second in baseball in on-base percentage. Cubs overall lead baseball in that category. Now Garrett Cole was asking Clint Hurdle about it today, about how the changeup, which is his last offering and least used, but a goal of his in spring training to use it more often, but he hasn't really used it a whole lot, and that's because he's been in situations where you don't want to go with your 4th best pitch to try to get out of a situation, right?
Yeah, but it's such an equalizer against a left-handed batter especially, and that's where Garrett has kind of struggled a little bit with early on this year against lefties. Righties hitting .229 against Garrett, but lefties are over 300, 304 coming into today. And to me, every breaking ball he throws obviously runs into a lefty. And if you make a mistake with it up, it's more likely to get hit. The changeup is a pitch that looks like a fastball. You don't pick up the spin, and so you're more likely to get guys out in front and get soft contact against it.
Only 5% of the time.
Now I know Garrett, we've seen him throw changeups to righties as well, but to me, if he could learn to locate that changeup arm side away from the left-hander, it makes his stuff play a lot better. Garrett a little off balance on that breaking ball that Fowler took down and in, but seems to be just fine.
Ray Searage ejected during a mound visit yesterday. And no one could find it. And Fowler will be at second base to start the ball game. Now there's a few clouds in the sky, mostly sunny afternoon.
Yeah, now, and the wind's blowing in, so Jordy's going back thinking it's behind the dirt. He loses it. And Dexter Fowler, to his credit, how often do you see this? A pop up in the infield to the guy, not full speed, but not half speed. A pretty good gate goes to second, but that's a situation there where it was hard to tell with Jordy, as that ball's out of play, whether he was yelling anything. And I don't know if J-Hay lost it as well, but as soon as you look up and you don't see it, you got to start screaming. You can't just have your arms out because the other infielder is looking up and he's not watching you.
Right.
He's looking up, so you got to start yelling, I can't see it, I can't see it.
Yeah, Harrison went to go cover the bag at second when he saw Fowler moving over, so he didn't look up into the sky anymore. So there's some miscommunication. McCutchen was trying to tell both the middle infielders, hey, Jordy can't find it.
Yeah, I mean, you have to haul him. And maybe he was. I'm not sure, but it's a break for the Cubs early.
Hard to give him extra outs. Goes as a double. And I was talking with Clint Hurdle about that this morning, about how the Pirates defense has been so good. And it has to be about flawless, the way that the Cubs have been executing to begin this season. And gets a good strikeout there on Hayward. 95 upstairs.
That's one thing you want to do as a pitcher as well. I mean, pick up your defense if there's a miscue behind you. And man, it almost looked like Jason Hayward on a high fastball swung over. I could be wrong, but I thought he swung over that fastball that was about shoulder high. That wouldn't be easy to do.
Maybe at his height. Chris Bryant in left field today. And Hayward 6'5". But I know what you mean. Yeah, guys always swing under it.
Yeah.
They think it's lower than it really is.
Hitters talk about using their top hand. Look at that ball went down. He swung and foul tipped it down. You never see that on a high fastball, especially with the velocity of a Garrett Cole.
Big strikeout. Now behind on Bryant. .279 with men in scoring position. Now 3-1.
I tried to go with the curveball there. Just didn't come out of his hand right.
Umpiring crew today, Todd Tishner. On the balls and strikes. Milwaukee is the crew chief. Matt Hoberg over at second. Brian Knight, third base umpire, who ejected Ray Searage in the fourth inning of yesterday's game. Coincidentally, also worked John Lester's no-hitter. He was with the Red Sox. David Freese gets the second out, and so right after that Luke Gift double, what does Cole do? He gets a strikeout and then induces a pop out and foul ground. Here's the defense behind Rene. Marte McCutchen, Sean Rodriguez in right. Lefty batting Gregory Polanco gets the day off. Gung in there for the third straight day with Mercer and Harrison. Freeze over at first and Cervelli doing the catching. And Gung in there because Clint Hurdle says he's got a feel today. He didn't get a lot of action defensively or offensively running the bases the last couple of days. They're still going to try to work in regular rest for Gung, but why not put him in there today? A day game after a day game.
Sure.
Regular rest. We've talked a lot about Anthony Rizzo. These are some plump numbers. Almost an RBI a game.
I like the idea of challenging Rizzo early too. Garrett Cole, 2 fastballs in under the hands of Rizzo. You know, you throw a strike on the inside corner to Anthony Rizzo, especially when you're throwing as hard as Garrett Cole. Boy, that's a hard pitch to get to. You know, he has a slightly open stance. When he brings that right foot, when he takes his stride, it's even closer to home plate. But you know, he's only maybe 10 inches from that inside corner.
Part of the play ball weekend. A lot of the boyhood photos of players. Yeah, Rizzo likes Starling Marte. They crowd the plate, and by consequence, they get hit a lot. Look at those hands are right over the inner part of the plate. McCutchen's going to have room though for the final out. So the ball that drops in doesn't hurt the Pirates in the first.
Pittsburgh Pirates. Visit BortisLaw.com. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks!
Second inning from chilly Wrigley Field, but spirits are bright as the Pirates hoping to start their winning ways today. Nothing through an inning. Sun shining here today. And Francisco Cervelli will lead it off, and boy, he had a big hit yesterday. It started to get maybe some smiles finally as he put the Pirates in the lead.
Yeah, against Arrieta. Anytime you can get a lead against him, it's good. Fortunately, it didn't last. But 3 hitters. 3 hitters later for the Cubs. They retook the lead. Arrieta got a little bit of a break, too. We talked about it. Obviously, if you watch the game, you know the Harrison comebacker that goes through. Pirates are still hitting with a 3-run lead. But yeah, that was a nice little run there by the Pirates. But then after that, it seemed like Arrieta just turned it up a notch. Became about unhittable. That was unhittable.
Now the only hits came in that inning. And Cervelli aboard on a leadoff walk, second already issued by Lester. Now the Pirates have not led at the end of an inning for 44 straight innings now against the Cubs. I mean, that starts to get to you a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if the players realize that. I mean, I don't know if, unless they're told, I don't think they realize that they haven't led in 44 innings. I mean, I don't think you pay much attention to that. You know, you haven't won any games, but, you know, as far as the details of it, I don't think they worry too much about the details. They're frustrated by not beating the Cubs, and certainly they know they will at some point. They want to start today, but yeah, I'm sure there's a little bit of frustration. The Pirates know that they're as good as this Cubs team. They feel, although not off to a great start, whereas the Cubs are, they feel that they can play and beat this team on any given day.
Maybe today is that day. And a 1 on Jung Ho Gung. 3 home runs in his first week plus. I have to read what that said. Korean flag, South Korean flag.
Odd to see Jung Ho take fastball for a strike.
Hasn't seen a lot of them.
No. He usually is attacking.
Gets him to pop it up. And Rizzo can't get it. That wind is definitely playing a number on those pop-ups today.
Yeah, we talk about a lot in spring training when we're in Florida. Probably the toughest place to play in the outfield because of the sun and the wind. This would be next. In San Francisco, probably a close third. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I know Zobrist is playing a little bit up the middle, and so that was a long run for him. He would have had to go a good 90 feet or so. But Rizzo, no glasses.
It's bright and sunny today. Mostly sunny. Cervelli getting a big lead over there at first.
Even it looked like maybe a crossover from Cervelli. Yeah, he was thinking about it, perhaps. And again, you know he's not throwing over. And you know the key is Lester has to be slower to the plate for a guy like Francisco Cervelli. It doesn't matter. He'd have to be slower to the plate for Cervelli to be able to steal a base off him.
Now, Ross still a good defensive catcher, but you know, we talk about all the dynamics. I mean, Ross can throw on a taken pitch. He can throw over there, or he can try to throw you out. Lester can vary his timing, right? I mean, there's a number of different things that he can do other than throwing over to the base, which he has trouble with.
Yeah, he's not going to throw over the base. Now, again, you could try to take a bigger lead, but if you're going to take a giant lead, you have to steal. Otherwise, Ross could throw you out. And we saw that at home the last time Lester faced the Pirates. David Ross picked off Sean Rodriguez at first base, and Sean had a big lead, and he took his secondary lead, which is a couple shuffles, but Lester quick pitched, slide stepped, and by the time Ross received the ball, Sean wasn't finished with his secondary lead, and so it was an easy pickoff because he was too far off the bat.
Todd Tischner rings up Jung Ho Gung. The Pirates yesterday caught looking 6 times in the game, already twice this afternoon.
See where the location, WB Mason strike zone, that's off the plate. And that's a cutter as well. So out of the hand, it even looked further away to Jung Ho Kang. The late movement, bringing it closer to that outside corner. Not quite getting there, but Lester getting the call.
And when you see a large number of strikeouts looking, it starts to become a head scratcher. Zobrist able to retire it for the second out. Sundays are kids' days at PNC Park, and the next one when the Bucks take on the Rockies a week from today at 1:35. All kids 14 and younger are receiving a portable speaker presented by Mrs. T's Pierogies. Get your tickets and get your speaker. Pirates.com. Come on out to the ballpark as the Pirates return home tomorrow. It'll be good to be back. Final day of this long sojourn. Pirates have played a lot of their games on the road to begin this season. Sean Rodriguez standing in with Cervelli at first. This is concluding a stretch of 22 out of 33 on the road. That doesn't include a couple of postponements. And the Pirates above 500 in that long stretch of road games to begin the year.
Nice. School's about to be letting out. Weather, we hope, will become warmer.
Ain't much better back home either.
So we got 16 of the next 23 games at PNC Park.
Now that's more like it. And the Pirates, you know, looking back to where they were last year, Pirates with 18 wins this year. They were 18 and 22 at one point last year, 18 and 17 today. So keeping their heads above water despite this very heavy road schedule to begin 2016.
And again, some late movement. The pitch started off the plate.
And the Pirates strike out looking for the third time today, and the leadoff walk left stranded. Devastating loss and personal struggles in his life, Al Oliver found brilliant success in Major League Baseball. Catch up with the former Pirates All-Star and see how he overcame hard hits to achieve great heights on a special Inside Pirates Baseball tomorrow after postgame right here on Root Sports. On our UPMC scoreboard, Pirates and Cubs 0-0. It's a little blustery, 45 degrees at game time, but sunshine on a Sunday afternoon. Where else would you rather be than the ballpark?
It's much more fun and festive here when it's warm.
The only downside to that is the bleacher bums. Some of them are maybe not all that in shape sometimes. We are clad today. I know that. I have borrowed some warm clothes from people. I wasn't ready for this when we packed a week and a half ago. Thanks to Jim DeShays for the hat and Scott Bonnet, Bones, our clubhouse manager, for lending me his coat. Makes my wife happy.
Yeah.
Strike 3 call, and so now the Pirates benefiting from that Todd Tishner strike zone today.
You have a wide strike zone. You won't complain as much if it's wide for both sides, and that's not that missing by much. I mean, and then pretty good movement. The tail. Zobrist didn't like it, but that was a common strike not so long ago.
Mercer. And the throw draws him off the bag. That was a heck of a play just to get to that ball, though. That'd be a base hit.
Yeah. Good range going to his left. And he took his time so he could get off an accurate throw. He didn't rush it too much, but just a bit high. If it's on target, still would have been a bang-bang play. We've seen Jordy make that where he just turns and throws all in one motion, but he wanted to make sure he got off a good accurate throw, but a little too high, even for David Freese.
Now a 9-game hitting streak for Addison Russell.
Didn't even mention him. He didn't even make the list in the open in terms of hot Cubs hitters, despite the fact 27 RBIs for the Cubs most of the time. 8th hitter.
Hitting home runs in both games of this series, driving in 5 runs against the Pirates. Gong with a good stop, gets one. Relay not in time. Baez runs well. And a nice play by Gung to get the force.
Nicely done.
And he has shown no ill effects of that terrible injury from last season.
Nope, he's looked good. Was playing in about even with the bag against the speedy Baez, thinking maybe a bunt attempt. If he was playing deeper, good chance that's a double play, because he probably could have stayed on his feet.
Now David Ross. This one blasted toward the corner and foul off the Bartman wall.
39 years old, David Ross can still catch and throw. And I'm wondering if maybe some folks thought that, you know, bringing Lester in and his catcher may have been a bit too much, but he's proving he could still play. He definitely got it defensively, and he's been swinging the bat well.
And he's pitched on occasion.
Yeah.
In case you need him. Yeah, they come in tandem.
Yeah.
Both free agents after Lester finished with Oakland for half a season. Almost forget about that now, but that fateful wild card game from 14 where the Royals somehow came back to pull off that win and ended up going within 90 feet of winning the World Series, or at least tying it in Game 7. Hit well, but into the teeth of that wind. And an easy play for McCutchen. Quiet bats so far. We're scoreless through 2. All the new graduates, high school, college, beyond. It seems like just half a century ago when I graduated. Feels like it's some days. Back in the 1900s.
Back in the 1900s.
When I graduated college.
At least you graduated.
Did you get drafted after your 3rd year playing ball? Did you ever entertain thoughts of going back to IU? And now that they have online classes,
well,
no,
no need.
You got a good gig. Strike to Garrett Cole. What would you have done if you had to not talk about baseball or play baseball?
I don't know. I majored in math.
Math?
So maybe teach.
Wow.
I wanted to be an architect, actually. Thought about engineering.
Really? Architecture. How would you grade out Wrigley Field then?
Old and dumpy.
Well, remember, this is 100 years ago when they built this, so using today's tools.
They did a remarkable job 100 years ago.
Yeah. Today's tools, maybe. Garrett Cole strikes out to start the 3rd. Well, you could always hawk. I've done that before. I've been a hawker for minor league soccer.
Wow.
And I did hot dogs and I almost fell over. I'm not a very big guy.
I've done just about everything. I've worked in just about every industry. I've never did the.
I would sample the product too much to be able to make any money. If I was that guy. One for you, one for me.
By the way, Wrigley Field is charming. I want to get the Cubs fans all up in arms. But there are parts that are better than others.
Sure. Well, they're doing a lot of remodeling here. Many of it is behind the scenes this past year.
It's definitely a place that if you haven't seen it, you should see it. You need to see it.
There isn't anything like this anymore.
No.
In pretty much all of sports. I mean, Fenway Park, now that it has been redone, it's been redone so well, but it does feel fairly nice and new in Fenway Park, even though it's an old park. But Wrigley's still got some of the old charm, and some of the new facets to it kind of blend right in.
Yep.
Mr. Cub, Ernie Banks. Nice wrought iron work around the facade, continuing to solidify Wrigley Field. They've expanded the bleachers here. And so some of the rooftop seating, that's still been a new phenomenon, but this has been around since what, the late 30s? Center field scoreboard. As soon as they put the bleachers in then.
And even, the way they did their new video board and, the things they've added. I like the way the color scheme to make it kind of look old school, even though it's brand new on the right field line and left center field. I mean, it
actually fits in. I mean,
yeah, fits in nicely. Somehow behind that scoreboard and right though, there's rooftops and there's people sitting on that rooftop
on a 45-degree windy day.
And they can't see. They can't see through that board, I don't think.
No,
that scoreboard. They can't see through there.
And if they can,
so they can see.
They're going to make a lot of money one day.
Yeah, they can see the left and center fielder. That's probably about it. But they're back there.
Yeah, X-ray vision goes a long way.
Watching on TV.
And then there's the viewpoints. Now, when I grew up, that was pretty common. You could have an obstructed view seat behind a pole.
Yep.
And that is commonplace here. It gets you closer to the action if you're in the upper deck. This will end the long at bat for Mercer. Charms you will not see anymore here at Wrigley Field, the original home of the Chicago Whales of the defunct Federal League.
Yeah.
It was not originally the home of the Cubs. And a lot of those structures are new within the last 10-15 years.
Does that mean it's been 100 and some odd years?
Yeah. Yeah, new. Oh, you mean the sign? I don't know. You're the guy that knows a lot of stuff. Here's. I guess it's Latin. That's the only thing I know about. One hopper for McCutchen. First time Lester has retired the side in order. Still 0-0 on a Sunday afternoon at Wrigley. What's the score? 0-0. Who's winning?
The Bears.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off, filmed in part here at Wrigley Field. And now, okay, so we found out the answer here. This is Latin on the left. It means go Little Bear or go Cubs. And that code, I thought this was like a Wi-Fi password or something like that. It means 87, what, 8 years since the last division winner, 71 since the last NL pennant. Cubs went to the World Series last in 1945, so that's the 7-1, and then the 108, that's 108 years since the last championship in 1908, when Fred Merkle failed to get to second base and opened it up against the Giants in a late season series, and they beat out the Pirates and the Giants that year to go to the World Series. Fred Merkle. This one might be a play. Marte gave it a look.
Lester, not much of a hitter.
Whole career in the American League till last year. And got his first hit now off of his teammate, John Lackey.
110 career at bats, 5 hits, 045.
I bet you Lackey was not very pleased about that when he was the opponent. Lackey himself in the American League to begin a long part of his career. Well, he's going to see at least 6 pitches. That's a success in itself.
Pretty good eye for a guy that has struck out in just about half of those plate appearances.
And let's go down to Robbie and Smokowski.
Well, Joe, a couple minutes ago, you're talking about Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and the Pirates this past Thursday had a day off. And what did Garrett Cole do? Well, he paid a visit to the Art Institute of Chicago, where he wore a pretty plain outfit, brown khakis, a white shirt, and a brown hat. But guess what? He resembled almost exactly this 1942 painting called Clown with Drum by the late American painter Walt Kuhn. Photo was posted by his fiancee Amy, who got a kick out of Garrett's outfit, who, when I asked him about it, he said that was completely unintentional. He did not mean to wear it, but it's funny nonetheless, Joe and Rock.
That's incredible. I mean, that you couldn't. I mean, if it were Halloween, you couldn't make it that close. And Garrett Cole had some fun with it. I talked with him about that the other day. He just said, I had to take the picture. Look at this. I mean, he's got a similar hat on. He's got a white T-shirt, and that's kind of, you know, the face, you know, his face, you know, most of the time. And talking about Ferris Bueller's Day Off, yes, it was also partially filmed at the Art Institute of Chicago as well. So, great segue, Robbie. That's fun.
The clown, a little more jacked than Garrett Cole.
And then, there's our buddy. Think he's skipping school on a Sunday? Matthew Broderick here today. No, that's not it. No. Is Cameron Fry in the building anyway? That was his buddy. He wore the Gordie Howe jersey.
Oh. I only saw it once, and it was so long ago. I have very little recollection.
It's one of my favorite movies. And if Hayward can straighten one out, he's got a 6-game hitting streak here. Trying to keep him at bay. He's had a good go of things as of late. We didn't even see him in the previous series earlier this month. Trying to keep him quiet, but he's starting to heat back up. 97 from Cole.
Trying to run it in, a little tail. Not enough tail.
Todd Tishner's given a little leeway off the edges. That didn't need any leeway. Garrett Cole with his third strikeout. 0-0 through 3.
It's time for the Toyota RAV4th inning. The all-wheel drive RAV Hybrid has performance that will make you rethink hybrid. Let's go Bucks!
Scoreless as we head to the 4th inning. Wind blowing in today, not keeping the faithful from coming. Maybe a little bit chilly if you're not in the sun. Sunshine just fine. Apropos leadoff hitter David Freese. He's already got a baseball today. That's a success.
Yep. Especially no BP.
The teams did not hit on the field today. Some work underneath in the catacombs of Wrigley. Even though we've been gone a long time, it feels a little closer to home with all the fans that we see on the road. Transplants, people have moved or in town for a visit, follow the club.
Went and took in the Penguin game the other night on our off day, and went to a local establishment, which is a Pittsburgh bar. And it was nothing but Penguin, Pirate, and Steeler fans.
I'll have to go next time. Next time we're here. That's one cool thing, is you can find one pretty much in every city.
Yep.
Here's the 1-2. 5 strikeouts for John Lester. And let's take a look at our Point Park tweets. What's up with the Cubs catcher with the wristband like a quarterback? Jack, good eyes. I didn't notice this, but yeah, look at that. Does he have maybe some batter information in there?
That's the only thing I could think of. I never saw anything like that before.
Neither have I.
On a catcher. And the only thing that makes sense is that it's perhaps information on each hitter.
Take a little peek. All right, Marte likes to hit home runs. All right, let's not throw one of those. Probably a little more detailed than that. But that makes all the sense in the world. I've never seen that, never thought of that. But that, you know, especially, I mean, now Ross is a veteran catcher, but especially for a young catcher.
won't be long before every catcher will have it.
They might have an electronic device on them, or they could watch video while the batter's strutting up or something into his walk-up music. Let's tell Cervelli to get in on the action. That's a great idea. Good job, Jack, finding that. Good job with our camera folks being able to spot that and give us a good look.
And Marte giggling because he barely stayed alive. A bit of an emergency swing. That last fastball come in on his hands, and he somehow put wood to it.
Cracked well into right center. But Hayward able to haul it in. We've seen a couple of balls driven well on both sides today, but you got to really crush it to get it out today.
Yeah, little backdoor curveball he did. He struck it well. It just went nowhere. Pretty easy play for Hayward. Yeah, I think Marte thought for sure he had extra bases when that ball left his bat.
And Baez, 9 in a row sent down by John Lester. Still quiet through 3.5. Shirt Friday, the Pirates take on the Rockies Friday at 7:05, and if you're one of the first 20,000 fans through the gates, you'll receive a free Pirates t-shirt presented by Milan. So get your tickets at pirates.com/free shirt Friday. John Jaso getting the day off to start, at least today. Happy birthday to you. As long as you're sitting in foul territory, I hope you get your ball.
It's a birthday.
Nope, she's over the wall. She can get it tomorrow. Yes, so hello, we need some runs. Nope. Not with Garrett Cole today. He's playing the stoppers so far. Shutting down this potent Cubs order. Leadoff bloop double by Fowler on a ball lost in the sun, and then a little hit from Russell. That's been it. Young smoothly fields that one for out number 1. Third straight day over there at third sack.
Man, they go through a lot of work getting this field ready before games. Yeah, they're out here early. They water it first. They put a bunch of water on it, and then they put the diamond drive. And they spread it throughout the entire infield. All the dirt. Rake it.
It's a new. I don't know what to say new. Maybe what 10 years, 12 years since they've had this field, the actual playing surface.
Yep, they put in new drainage system. They leveled the field. Used to be crowned.
Yeah, it used to be a big hump in the middle of the field there. That's how fields used to drain. That's a routine play today. Two gone.
Literally, if you were in the dugout, you could not see second, like from the first base dugout, the visiting dugout, you couldn't see second or third base.
Yeah, there would be a rise and then a slope back down. So, you know, if you're playing third base, which you had played here, I mean, you have to kind of see over that a little bit and throw on.
You didn't really notice it so much as a player, you know, like playing on defense. You noticed it more on the bench when you're like
when you're ground level.
Yeah, somebody's trying to steal second base and there's a bang play at second base. You can't tell. You can't see the bag. Couldn't see the bag.
Well, it's just like streets. You know, you go out in your street right now and look both ways first, but you know it's crowned.
Yeah.
There's
a little bit of crown.
Yeah. It slopes to one side and then it peaks and then it slopes to the other side. It's for drainage, and that's how all baseball fields were. Until not that very long ago, really. Zobrist punches this one into right center.
Down.
And it'll stay in the park only because of that wind today. It'll be a 2-out double. Pitcher's best friend here at Wrigley, that wind blowing in.
Yep. See, once the fastball in, you saw where it ended up. It ran out over even to the outer third of the plate. And Zobrist, maybe one of the more underrated players in baseball. The National League hasn't seen much of him till this year, but this guy can flat out play.
He's 34 years old, and the Cubs invested in a rich 4-year deal for him. Playing, of course, under Joe Maddon in Tampa Bay, that World Series team in '08. Very versatile player. And then, of course, in the World Series last year with Kansas City.
And this guy, Addison Russell, for 27 RBIs. Another hit today to take the average up to 270. More RBIs than Chris Bryant. I don't think many people would have guessed that.
And he is 22 years old. Now the Cubs with a lot of very good young players. Baez on deck at 23. I mean, it's hard to even get into the big leagues, let alone produce at that age. But a couple of years ago, we saw that coming. You know, Bryant, the Rookie of the Year. Me working over in Arizona in spring training, 2 years ago, we were seeing these guys in Cubs spring training, and you knew, all right, the years of beating the Cubs like a drum every year are going to come to an end soon. And boy, they have flipped it around in a hurry.
Pretty close, but not quite, according to the first base umpire, Bill Welke.
And of course, making a good trade or two doesn't hurt. Nice pitch from Garrett Cole to strike out Russell. With that 2-out double, left stranded right there, and we're still knotted at nothing.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Chevy Equinox and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Barrel. We'll beat anybody's price. Find out more at barrel.com. Let's go Bucks!
Fifth inning coming up. Pirates and Cubs are scoreless. Any way you interpret this one, it has been a pitcher's duel so far. Jung-Ho Kang called out on strikes and an 8-pitch at bat back in the second. Now a ball and a strike. And Ross will need to take a moment here.
Off the chin. And who knows if that rattles the brain a little bit. And
yeah,
David Ross's head, as I'm sure the folks in Pittsburgh knows, had some concussion issues. And you'll see him in a local commercial regularly.
Yeah, and he's a testament for just the greater awareness for catchers, especially in the game of baseball, but for all athletes and concussions. So taking that a lot more seriously these days, and that's a good thing.
Jung-Ho getting the barrel out on that one. Last time up, unable to pull the trigger.
Tried to wake up that bullpen. Two. Hard shot right to Russell. Wow.
Frustrating.
Thought that might be the first hit.
Yep, and gets the foot down right on the barrel of the bat. A little bit of a hook to it as well. And Addison Russell, right place, right time. Good timing.
Harrison popped out his first time. The Pirates only had hits in 1 of the 9 innings yesterday. They have yet to register one against Leicester here today. Yes. Oh.
Getting hits are hard. And when you hit the ball hard, you expect to be rewarded with a hit. Especially against this Cubs pitching staff. It's been just so good this year, as you see the crossover. Almost a bit of a fall.
Nice images on our Allegheny Health Network Super Mode. Two. Play for Baez made it look easy.
Footwork. Come and get it.
And fireworks light up the Pittsburgh skyline Thursday at PNC Park as the Pirates will host the Braves at 7:05. Make sure you stay after the game for a Zambelli fireworks show. For tickets, visit pirates.com. Rodriguez.
Not a fan favorite here in Chicago. He might not understand.
He has been active when the two teams have had their spats.
Well, he's a competitor, and he's all about protecting his teammates. And one of the nicer guys you're ever going to meet in baseball.
Now that's a perspective we need to give to really balance the story.
Yeah, and again, he's super competitive. He cares. He plays the game the right way. He goes about his business. He prepares, and he cares about his teammates.
Walking around town with his wife and kids this weekend around Chicago.
All 4 of them.
Busy family, all young ones too. Now even at 2-2. I just want to let you guys know I got a souvenir.
Just the ball.
I never got one. I'd be that excited.
As a grown-up?
Ever. I mean, maybe back in the booth, but I wouldn't catch it. I hide. But sitting in the seats, I came close one time. Never caught.
My next one will be my first.
And the Pirates caught looking for the 4th time today and the 10th time in the last 2. Still scoreless. In Pirates history, and in 1967, Roberto Clemente did it all as the Bucks were taking on the Reds that day. He had 3 home runs and a double, drove in 7, even climbed the wall, and robbed a home run as well. That all wasn't enough, though. The Reds tying it in the 9th on a Lee May home run, and then winning in the 10th on a Tony Perez double, bringing home Pete Rose. I'm told this is the group led by Ted Butterman here at Wrigley. Javi Baez protected from that chin music.
Yeah, but just a curveball.
The other music we saw, part of the lore of Wrigley. There's a lot of different nuances of this ballpark that taken place a long time.
Last one, they're calling a foul ball, by the way. Oh, you hit the handle of the bat, perhaps.
there from McCutchen for out number 1. And Garrett Cole's doing his part. Trying to be the stopper today.
Yeah. But you hope, you know, Garrett wants to win as much as anybody.
Well, he's given up a double that was lost in the lights, or in the sun, I should say. John Lester has not allowed any hits. The other 2 hits that Cole's allowed, an infield single to Russell, and then Zobrist hitting a ball well to the gap in right center, a double with 2 outs in the 4th. Those are the only 3 hits of the game. We're in the 5th. And sensing that, Ross trying to get something going.
I saw him try that the other night as well. If you're playing back, Jung Ho Kang was playing back, and you can drop one down with 1 out. Your pitcher comes up, bunch you over.
Here's the 1-2.
With movement. Garrett Guts has some good movement on that fastball. What's he going to do here to take care of David Ross? Try to lock him up with a fastball away. Pretty good pitch. I think he was maybe trying to get that to come back. Just missed by a couple of inches.
And we've seen that be called a strike today, even though it's not a strike. And I think that's why Cole was frustrated.
Good waste there of that slider from Garrett Cole. Where he wanted to put it. Wanted to start it on the outside third of the plate and have it break off. David Ross somehow able to waste it.
Two Cubs have been caught looking today via strikeouts, and the Pirates batters 4 times. Yesterday, the Cubs were caught looking twice. Pirates were caught looking 6 times.
And those 6 times, that's when Arrieta went to another level. That was over the course of, I think, 10 or 11 hitters.
That time swinging for the 2nd out.
And once again, a hard slider. This one he threw even harder and started it on the outside edge. That one almost like a cutter at 91 miles per hour. That's the one thing Garrett Cole, I mean, he can throw his curveball, as slow as 80 miles per hour. The slider we could see from 87 to that one, 91. That's as hard as I've ever seen Garrett Cole throw a slider, almost like a cutter.
Inventing stuff out there. Blew up his bat. Garrett Cole, a 1-2-3 inning. Great pitchers duel on a Sunday afternoon here at Wrigley. Stay tuned after the game to sit down with Ryan Vogelsong as he shares his far-flung odyssey through the low ranks of baseball before re-emerging at the highest level of the sport. And you can hear his story on Inside Pirates Baseball, presented by Allegheny Health Network, today, right after postgame here on Root Sports. 0-0 as we go to the 6th inning. It has been a fantastic pitcher's duel today. There's a look at Vogelsong. John Lester at 74 pitches. Cole bettering him there at 67, but dating back to yesterday, 35 straight Pirates batters have come up and have not gotten a hit.
Wow.
Pirates got all 3 of their hits yesterday in the 4th inning against Arrieta and Grimm. And remember, the Pirates coming in, this is a very, very good offense. They were 5th best in baseball in runs scored, but the Cubs the best at limiting runs as well as scoring them. Foul ball.
Almost. Here, Cole almost picking up the first Pirate hit.
Baez showing that great range too. I mean, he was not going to sneak it down that line.
He wasn't going to be able to throw out Garrett Cole after knocking it down.
John Neese on the bump tomorrow. Atlanta coming to town. Pirates coming to town. That's been unusual. Long road trip. And Lester now with 7 strikeouts. And a look at our Nissan road ahead. A lot of yellow. That means the Pirates at home. And they could use some home cooking. 4 against Atlanta, the power-stricken Braves, and the Rockies and Diamondbacks in a long homestand. Pirates doing well against those 3 teams.
Atlanta's still just 9 home runs.
The entire team.
And the last I looked, Freddie Freeman had 6 of them.
Well, you hope, and baseball always works in funny ways, but you hope that that could be a favorable series and get the Pirates back on track. They've run into a stalwart Cubs team. But the Pirates 5-1 against the Diamondbacks and Rockies and have yet to play the Braves, who are 9-26 entering play today. Tied for the poorest record.
This is a close one. Jordy holds it just enough.
Bill Welke on the arbitration. Three-2 into that wind, and Bryant doesn't have to move a muscle.
Yeah, it is amazing too how much the wind affects the flight of the ball here more so than any other major league ballpark.
Not built up.
Yep, not built up, and the wind blows in every other city. It just doesn't have the same effect, and it's a huge effect. I mean, you're talking, you know, pop-ups go when it's blowing the other way. The pop-ups go forever, and it's almost impossible to hit one out.
They got to hit line drives.
Because it's not gailing it. I mean, there was the one fly ball, I think with the Marte ball in the right center gap. The wind was barely blowing that at bat and still held it up.
Yeah, 11-mile-per-hour wind today. That's a little bit more than a breeze. Now, when they put these new boards up, they thought there was talk, hey, would this knock down some of the prevailing winds? But out and right, I mean, the buildings are already there. Left center, maybe. It really hasn't had much effect.
The only other ballpark where there was noticeable difference when we were in Arizona and they opened up the roof that first day there. And the ball started flying like crazy.
Oh, it was lunar. Lester has retired 14 in a row. He's allowed a walk to Freeze in the first, a leadoff walk to Cervelli in the second. That's it. Garrett Cole has held up his end of the bargain. There's your Yahtzee. 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2. Now full. Freeze would be next.
Working some deeper counts. That pitch count is getting up there, which would be a concern, I'm sure, if the Pirates continue to not get a hit.
8th strikeout for Lester. He has sent down 15 Pirates in a row and has kept them hitless through 6.
By Kenny Ross, Total Confidence Pricing, and by Levin Furniture, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
Nothing. Bottom of the 6th coming up. Garrett Cole has been outstanding. Yet not good enough to have a lead at this point. A tidy 67 pitches to start the inning. Fowler has one of the 3 hits. That double was a ball lost in the sun that fell back behind second base. The other 2 hits, Addison Russell with an infield single, and Zobrist cracked a 2-out double in the 4th. Cole has not walked a batter.
Good curveball. Good take. Fowler somehow able to lay off of it. Lester. Talked about Cole being excellent. He's been a bit better. UPMC strike zone shows that pitch a bit off. Garrett Cole gets the call. Dexter Fowler not thrilled. Back. That took something off. That didn't look like a slider. Didn't look like, I know it wasn't a curveball. Maybe it was just a little. Talked about it earlier. He threw a little slider to David Ross that was at 91. That kind of looked like the same spin. Not a lot of break.
Hayward has been caught looking and also struck out swinging today. And Cole quickly ahead, 2 strikes. Broke his bat. And Freeze will get the 2nd out. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on more than 400 supported devices, and it includes a free subscription to At-Bat Premium, so blackout and other restrictions apply. Go to MLB.TV for details. Ball 1 to Bryant. He has popped out foul and has grounded out. No score, last of the 6th.
That's that hard slider again.
Kind of invented it out there last inning.
I haven't seen it from Garrett Cole, and he's locating it as well. Both sides of the plate. Threw it away to the lefty Fowler, and now a couple to the righties. Good take there from Bryant. Curveball that Garrett Cole was hoping to get him to chase. Sirich has to be happy.
He wasn't even in the game yesterday at this time. Got ejected in the 4th yesterday. Sticking up for Jeff Locke. Garrett Cole, the train keeps on rolling. But the Bucks bats need a run. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Garrett Cole has been fantastic. John Lester has been fantastic.
I'd say so.
0-0 as we start the 7th. Pirates looking for their first hit, as Lester has retired 15 in a row. He's issued walks in the first and second innings. 1 to Freeze. His 93rd pitch. And I give you the pitch count because, well, we'll just see how this one turns out. But as the game goes on, we've seen managers faced with a difficult decision. And you can see that big goose egg on the right for Lester so far. Hey, look, they're both pitching just as well.
Yep.
But there's a magic to not allowing a hit. And Lester's been down this road before.
And this pitch chasing David Freeze. Ball running in. And a bit up.
Yeah, almost 8 years ago to the day, Lester authored a no-hitter against Kansas City. And threw 130 pitches that day. That's the most ever that he has thrown, but that's a lot more than we've seen in recent years from him. Oak is back. Didn't even bother him as it came hurtling in his direction.
That's the good cutter. Getting in on the hands. The fastball has been excellent. The cutter has been excellent. I would think the hardest hit ball of the afternoon against Lester came from Marte. Gung also hit a hard line drive at the shortstop. Russell made a nice diving play. Marte drove one into the gap in right center that got run down. Marte chasing. Curveball in the dirt.
A lot of guys scratching their head in there right now. This will put Lester at the century mark. Foul ball.
Here we go, 100 pitches. I constantly think when a guy, veteran guy especially, goes deep in the game with a no-hitter with a high pitch count, I think of Johan Santana.
There's the base hit. Starling Marte with the first Pirates hit today.
And fans appreciate it. Everybody knew what was going on. And if I'm not mistaken, that was that no 2 pitch? There were 2 strikes on him, and everybody knows Marte can chase.
They haven't been very busy with that slot today. So John Lester will not have his second career no-hitter.
Well, you'd think Marte would take off, although not much of a lead right here.
Yeah,
let's
let's get right back into this one. It's The first Pirates base runner since the second inning.
Yeah.
And the first one with real speed.
And I would expect him to get a nice lead. Yeah, that's just a step and a half. I mean, he's chuckling, but he knows he's not going to throw over. And again, not a very big lead.
Considering how few chances both teams have had today, you'd think this would be a time to be aggressive. And with that pitch count rising, Adam Warren loosening up. Cervelli drew a walk back in the second, one of 3 Pirates base runners. Marte stumbled as he went. Just barely got back. I'm with you, Rock. He didn't get a very good lead over there and then had to put on the brakes.
Well, the thing is again, you could take a bigger than normal lead. And you saw the slippage from Marte. The presence of mind, though, to get back in a hurry, knowing that David Ross still can throw back there behind the plate.
And you talked about how this ground screw puts a lot of that extra drying agent on the field. That slows down the track a little bit on days where John Lester starts, perhaps.
Well,
that's the Kennedy assassination theory in me, I guess. But it does slow you down out there a little bit. It's beachy. Marte running here. And he's in there. 12 stolen base for Starling Marte.
And again, even though you could take a one-way lead, and the one-way lead, knowing you can go to your right, not to your left, with Lester on the mound. He's not coming over, and even there, it's relatively close, and it's close because Lester has sped up his time to home, and David Ross, quick release, strong throw.
Pirates aggressive on the bases today. The only real opportunity that they've had to steal, they've taken advantage of it.
One of every 3 base runners have stolen a base.
Now a base hit could give the Pirates the first run of the game here in the 7th. With Lester at 104 pitches. Nearing the end of this afternoon, perhaps. Now Marte moving into the lead in the National League. 1-2 to Cervelli. Now even. Now Cervelli put the Pirates in the lead yesterday, though short-lived. But the way that Garrett Cole is pitching today, maybe 1 run might be good enough. Two. Lester's 9th strikeout today.
Yeah, and for the most part, Lester, we've watched his fastball. There's been some 4-seamers and a lot of cut fastballs. This ball took off the other way. It ran away from Cervelli.
Jung Ho Gung. This is the first good chance for the Pirates. Their first man in scoring position all day. Marte with good speed at second. Had the Pirates' first hit. Stole second. Marte single Snapped a string of 16 in a row sent down by Lester. Hit well to right center.
Get out.
And that ball is going to be extra bases. Marte trots in to score. Jung-Ho Kang with a 2-out RBI double. And the Pirates score first here in the 7th.
What a big hit. We saw it all year long last year from Jung-Ho Kang. Just driving the ball, hitting the ball at the ballpark, coming up with big hits. And a big hit here. Top of the 7th inning, 2 outs. A runner in scoring position, a fastball up middle of the plate, get the foot down early, that short, quick swing, the bat speed, and splits the gap perfectly.
Big hit for Kang. Pirates on top. John Lester entered this inning with a no-hitter. He'll leave trailing here in the 7th. And John Lester started this inning 9 outs away from a no-hitter. The second hit he allows today, Jung-Ho Kang's ripping double, and that has put the Pirates on top here in the 7th.
Let's see if we can add on. Josh Harrison against Adam Warren.
This has been a very good situation for Harrison.
Warren hasn't given up much. 14 in the 3rd innings, ERA 188. He's only allowed 7 hits in those 14 in the 3rd innings. 3 wins in relief. Pretty much sinker slider. Occasional change or curve.
Harrison with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. Second most hits in the league, hitting .370 in these types of situations. Young there with 2 outs. Big hit. He's hit the ball hard a couple of times today, has Kang. And the Pirates took the lead yesterday in the 4th inning, but could not hold it. But the way that Garrett Cole has pitched today, he and perhaps the Pirates bullpen, with the guys who normally pitch with the lead, are well rested. Could be enough. 1 run. Certainly don't want to bank on it.
No. Into the bullpen for the Cubs, which has been pretty good. Garrett Cole hopes to keep the Cubs from scoring. Josh Harrison in a pretty good count
Cole has only allowed 3 hits. Only really 1 hard hit base hit.
Look at that. Staying away with the first 4 pitches, and then comes back with a changeup. A changeup that ran across the inside corner. So being careful with Josh Harrison. And you see the 3 goes down. Slider.
And another base runner, a 2-out walk.
Or not, and maybe that's why David Ross exaggerated by putting the 3 down there with Jung Ho Kang at second, thinking maybe that if they were able to transfer the signs, cross me up.
Take a look at our Point Park tweets. Jung Ho Kang is a beast. That's another big hit from him in a short time back with the Bucks. Believe it. I don't know how many times I can say how much I love the Gong Show. Thanks, Tyler. Yeah, he has been another added presence to this good Pirates offense. A little bit more power. So 2 men aboard, and Gregory Polanco will pinch hit for Sean Rodriguez. Didn't get the start today against the lefty, but now with the right-hander out there. Pinch hitting for the first time this year. Oh, and Kang barely got back. That throw did skid away, but not far enough for him to advance.
Again, Ben Zobrist is a great baseball player. He does all the little things. And not often will you see that other middle infielder go back and back it up. If he's not out there, Kang could have went to third. And you might think, oh, that's not that big a deal, but with a left-handed batter up, that is a bit of a big deal. Because if Kang advances to third, then you have first and third. Rizzo holds the runner on a big hole on the right side.
Two on with 2 outs. Polanco pinch hitting. And now ahead of the count, 2-1.
Close pitch there. Fastball just off the plate in.
And now they're going to walk Polanco intentionally to load the bases with Garrett Cole next. And, well, what do you do if you're the Pirates? Cole's been pitching great. He's at 80 pitches.
I mean, it was an easy decision for Joe Madden. Nobody's up in the Pirates bullpen.
Cole's going to bat.
Cole has been excellent. Why would you take him out of the game with the lead?
It's an interesting debate, but yeah, this is the right play. But do you try to continue to prevent runs, or do you try to add runs? And you only get 1 shot with 2 outs.
That pitch, close. Cole can hit. He can handle the bat a little bit. Pitch actually at the knees, inside corner.
Cole, a 163 career hitter coming in. Into the hole, but not hard hit enough. And the Pirates get on the board first with their first 2 hits of the day.
Presented by the authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Hope you had a good stretch. On our UPMC scoreboard, the Pirates now giving Garrett Cole the lead, 1-0. And the train has been rumbling through Chicago.
Yep, he's been good. The velocity's been there. The breaking ball has been there. The location has been there. And, you know, you can tell he wanted to come out here and put an end to this losing streak against the Cubs.
He has been fearsome out there. He's given up 3 hits, really only 1 hit hard. And that pitch count, 80. He can keep on rolling. Pops up Rizzo into shallow center. 1 pitch, 1 out in the 7th.
And he has done nothing but attack Anthony Rizzo and pound him in. And he didn't always get it in there. He did make, you know, a mistake or 2 leaving the ball out over the plate, but he has gone at Rizzo with the intent of beating him on his hands.
And Gregory Polanco stays in the game. He pinch hit for Rodriguez. Now Zobrist, he had a hard hit double in the 4th. Really the only hard base hit against Cole today. Now the 1-0. Cole has not walked a batter today. He has retired 8 in a row.
And had the free strike. 1 pitch, 1 out. Zobrist was taken.
Now 3-0. And if I'm not mistaken, that's the first time he's been 3-0 today.
Yeah.
Now 3-1. Cole is playing the role of stopper today. Pirates have lost all 5 meetings with the Cubs this year, and handily. Not underneath it. Polanco retires Zobrist. And if Cole can complete this inning scoreless, the Pirates will snap a string of 49 consecutive innings against the Cubs, not leading at the end of the inning. They led just briefly yesterday. And there it is. Another 1-2-3 inning for Garrett Cole. 10 in a row sent down. And Garrett Beautiful images on our Allegheny Health Network Supermo. Jonathan Jackson and E-Nation providing the music. Garrett Cole providing the shutout so far. 1-0 Pirates. Being no hit into the 7th. Strike for a run on a 2-out double by Jung Ho Gung.
Pedro Strop, 1.09, 3.95 ERA. Now that ERA up almost at 4, despite the league hitting just 170 against him.
And there's another base hit. I thought for sure that was going to fall in. Hayward almost cut off the gap.
I thought for sure that was going to get by Hayward, and Jordy was going to end up at least at third base, as he took a dangerous route to this ball. Charging, and a little in-between hop. He's able to stay in front and pick it. But there's no one to back him up if that gets by.
Now McCutchen, 8-game hitting streak. Hitless today. Trying to add on to this 1-0 lead. Pirates only had 2 base runners through the first 6 innings. And Joe Madden really wanting to keep this game close. So he brings on his setup man, trailing in the 8th inning.
Well, setup man has been good. The ERA, anytime you have one bad outing, it can get inflated, but just 8 hits allowed in 13 2/3 innings. 19 strikeouts. Well, now 9 hits after the Mercer base hit.
This might be trouble. What a play by Javi Baez.
An unnecessary chance by Baez, but it certainly looked pretty. He didn't need to go down with the bare hand, and that's a dangerous play because you miss it, it's obviously going to be a hit. But he had time to use the glove. As you could tell, after he throws it, Andrew's still 2 steps away, so why risk not making the play by using the bare hand? A lot of guys, I think, do that because if they do miss it, they're not charged an error anyhow.
Oh, I see. Joe Madden put Baez in there especially today. Likes that alignment with Baez at third and Bryant in left. David Freese walked back in the first. Baez just 23 years old. He's played all over. The Pirates will have a couple of chances with a man in scoring position. That is the benefit of that out. Marte due to follow. He scored the only run of the ball game. Garrett Cole right after a 7-pitch 7th at only 87 pitches. Now even.
Top of the zone, inside corner.
When if you're looking at the United States, that one's in Maine.
Yes, sir.
Milwaukee and I were doing that yesterday, trying to describe the strike zone in terms of the United States.
Yeah, the last pitch would have been about Tennessee. Nah.
Maybe Alabama. I don't know. Right? Georgia. A little Texas swing right there from Freese. And 2 away. And speaking of Texas, the native, Santayo Another brilliant outing yesterday for Indianapolis. Career high 11 strikeouts, walked 1, and again an efficient pitch count. He has hardly walked a batter this year. His ERA actually going up to just over 2. Great rotation down there in Indy. It's not just Tyone and Glasnow, who we hear a lot about. Chad Kuhl and Wilfredo Boscan and Stephen Brault, who's now briefly on the disabled list. All 5 starters among the league leaders.
Yep.
Zobrist. So the leadoff single stuck at second. And Garrett Cole will have a 1-0 lead into the last of the 8th. They're playing Twist and Shout here at Wrigley Field. This guy's tried to be dressed up like a Ferris Bueller today. Had a Save Ferris sign. Skipping Sunday school, perhaps.
Folks around them aren't impressed.
Look at these tweets today. Garrett Cole is throwing a gem, Dan. You're right. And the Cole train is running wild and fast down the tracks. That's the Garrett Cole we expect to see. Yeah, I mean, he has been so reliable. Good bunt, but a better play by Cervelli.
Excellent. And Baez, not a bad idea, not a bad attempt. The ball just died on him. And if it gets further away from home plate, good chance the leadoff man's on, but it just stopped. Garrett Cole, you think he's fired up? Attaboy.
Now Tommy La Stella going to pinch hit here for David Ross. La Stella hitting .340 in limited action. And 3 for 8 as a pinch hitter.
Yes, he did.
11 in a row sent down by Garrett Cole. The first Pirate starter to work into the 8th inning this season. He's at just 91 pitches. Right at McCutchen, and 2 gone. Cubs coming in averaging better than 6 runs a game. They have won several one-sided affairs in all 5 games this year, as Montero, the pinch hitter, for the pitcher's stroke. But Garrett Cole has put all of that right on his back.
Look at that. The most pitches, the first with 21.
And after that, that's unbelievable. It's coming right after guys.
Velocity's still there. 95, 96. The first pitch to Montero.
He struck him out. Garrett Cole with 7 strikeouts. He has shut out the Cubs through 8 innings.
Think he's fired up.
And the Cole train on track for a shutout. Pirates as we enter the 9th inning. And after today's game, the Pirates return home and get ready for a 4-game set against the Atlanta Braves. And we'll bring you the first game of that series tomorrow starting at 6:30 with Pirates pregame presented by WB Mason right here on Root Sports. John Neese gets the assignment against the 9-26 Braves. And the closer coming on trailing here in the 9th.
Hasn't pitched since the 11th Rondon. He has been excellent. .69 ERA. Does have a loss. 21 strikeouts, 0 walks. Opponent's hitting 95, 0.95 against them.
Montero stays in the game to catch. Pirates catcher Cervelli 0 for 2 today, walked back in the 2nd. Pirates had just 2 base runners through 6 innings and were being no hit. Young with a big 2-out RBI double. Garrett Cole 8 shutout innings. Now Mark Melancon getting up. Cole has sent down 13 Cubs in a row and is at just 95 pitches through 8.
Foul ball right off the mask of Montero.
And 2.
PMC Sports Medicine Strike Zone shows it off the plate.
Strike 3 call.
This slider backs up. They want it to break off that outside edge, and it just kind of stayed right there. One of the tougher sliders to hit. You see the rotation. You expect it to break, and it really doesn't do much. Stays up, stays in.
There's Gunn, who had that big hit in the 7th inning, driving in the only run of the game to this point. 2-out double to right center off John Lester, the final batter he faced. You don't see too many 1-0 games at Wrigley Field. The wind was blowing in for most of the ball game today. Flags have been still for the last couple of innings now.
You will never see a 1-0 game if the wind's blowing out.
That's how it's been the last couple of innings, but earlier, a pretty stiff breeze blowing in. Pirates trying to do something that they haven't done in almost a quarter century. And that's win a 1-0 game at Wrigley Field. They've only done it once since 1951. That was in '92.
Man, he's throwing a lot of sliders. Almost, I'm pretty sure all sliders here to Gung in this at bat, and another one that backs up. Look at the location of these pitches. In and up.
That's a foul ball. Hey, in that game back in '92, Randy Tomlin beat Greg Maddux. How about that? Stan Belinda pitched the 9th. Pirates leadoff hitter that day was Kirk Gibson. Pirates trying to do it again. Wouldn't hurt to have some extra, though.
Maybe.
This might have a chance.
Maybe.
Bryant back. And there it goes. Jung Ho Kang has done it again. A home run to left center. And the Pirates lead it 2-0. You can't get any bigger than that. Again, another big run batted in from Jung Ho Kang. Wow.
You brought it up earlier how Jung Ho, first time playing 3 straight games, and Clint Hurdle says, hey, not a lot of activity for Jung Ho yesterday, so let's throw him back out there, and he's the difference maker today. The big RBI 2-out double in the 7th and a home run. Man, this 7th pitch of the at-bat, the first fastball thrown from Rondon. And Jung Ho tattoos it.
We talked about it. They have not thrown him a lot of fastballs in this series. Just getting out of here with that wind finally dying down. Now a 2-0 lead.
That's a big insurance run, and Rondon now frustrated. Montero going to go out and talk with him. And again, you never know here as watch Jung Ho pull the hands in. Hips are cleared. Didn't get fully extended. Looked like the good part of the bat, but didn't really get extended and hit it out in front a whole bunch. But man, what great bat speed. Helped that the wind wasn't blowing too much.
This one might fall in. It does. Base hit for Josh Harrison. Kang today, 2 extra base hits, the only 2 for the Pirates today. He's driven in both runs. Already 4 home runs. He's been here just over a week. Chris Bosio, the Cubs pitching coach. Well, after all of the one-sided Cubs wins so far, as Travis Wood, the lefty, gets up, the Pirates couldn't really be playing a more complete ball game today. They had one miscue to start the game defensively, and then since then they've been great. The pitching's been out of this world, and they are warming up late in a game against the Cubs. Very fine pitching staff. This has been a one-sided series thus far, but I'm looking forward to seeing the Pirates and the Cubs battle this one out all season long.
Yes, sir.
Polanco, pinch hit, intentionally walked back in the 7th. Wouldn't hurt to keep adding on, though. You just never know. This Cubs team, you don't feel good until that final out's recorded. Big lead for Harrison at first. Well, will Garrett Cole pitch the 9th? Just because Matt Joyce is out on deck doesn't mean he necessarily will bat.
Oh, pretty close play over there.
Rondon walks halfway over to first base on the return throw just to keep Harrison close. He walked about 40 feet toward the bag.
Yep. And J.A. still had a lead. Not a very big lead, but he was just watching Rondon as he walked towards him. A lot of closers don't even bother with the running game. Don't even worry about it. Don't pay much mind. Concern themselves more with just retiring the hitter. Ooh. Pretty close pitch there. Gregory Polanco now heading the count 2-0. A little fastball running away just off the plate.
Well, 3-0. Matt Joyce is on deck, at least for the moment, to pinch hit for Cole, who has only once pitched into the 9th inning. He has never completed a game, and he's only at 95 pitches. Melanson has been loosening. There's a strike. Cole has sent down 13 straight Cubs. And you know, sometimes there's the, oh, let's give it to him. Let's give him the chance as Harrison goes. Now it's 3-2, but in my view, there's no giving Cole anything right now. If he is asked to pitch the 9th inning, it's because he's deserved it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I don't believe he has a complete game, correct?
No, he's only once pitched into the 9th.
I'm actually surprised if he doesn't go out in the 9th. I know this has been a pretty long top half.
Fascinating if Polanco gets aboard. Harrison running again. Ball 4. Won't matter. And the walk to Polanco. And Matt Joyce is striding to the plate. So that's going to be it for Garrett Cole.
What an outing. Great stuff for Garrett Cole. Matt Joyce pinch hitting here with 1 out, 2 on. 9th inning, will not get to face the Cubs closer as Madden out, going to bring in the lefty. Rondon, they don't want to get the pitch count up in a non-save situation.
That's it for Rondon. Pirates trying to add to a 2-0 lead here in the 9th. Garrett Cole was fantastic, and a much needed start from him today. Just 3 hits, none past the 4th. He retired the final 13 men he faced, did not walk a batter, and still had gas in the tank if they needed him for the 9th inning.
And that was domination out of Garrett Cole.
No starter had pitched 8 innings against the Cubs this year, let alone shut him out. This was an extraordinary effort.
Travis Wood, longtime starter, now a reliever in that pen. 1-0, 482 earned run average. Just 9 1/3 innings in 16 appearances.
Matt Joyce, the lefty, stays in there. Runner goes. Hits the bag, but not enough. Does move up the runners, though. Harrison to third, Polanco to second. Now Joyce was left in to face the lefty. The only right-handed batter on Clint Hurdle's bench is Chris Stewart, the backup catcher.
A little half swing and a little more luck. That ball kicks maybe into foul territory. Jay knew he had a good jump. Could have stolen the bag, and plus probably could have had better luck on that ball off the bat.
That's it for Travis Wood. Another pitching change here in the 9th. 2-0 Buccos. A 2-0 lead. Gung a 2-out run scoring double, and then the home run here in the 9th. He's driven them both in today. Threat isn't over. 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs. Justin Grimm again.
4.97 ERA. 15 strikeouts. 12 2/3 innings.
He pitched yesterday. 1-2-3 9th inning. Jordy Mercer singled last inning. Another single here might double the Pirates' advantage. Melanson ready for the bottom of the 9th. Garrett Cole has been pinch hit for it. Cole, a 3-hit shutout over 8 innings, did not walk a batter against baseball's most prolific offense. The best effort against the Cubs by any starting pitcher this year. That's nice of that fan to wish me a happy birthday today. It's not my birthday, but no. I don't look a day over 50. Come on. Now 3-0. First base is open, but Andrew McCutchen is out on deck.
Yeah, that's not a good strategy. 2-0 breaking ball in the dirt.
And taking a strike.
Let's see what he does here. 2-0 breaking ball. I can't imagine he goes soft on a 3-1 count.
Here it is. And it missed. And the bases are loaded.
Make a pay, Andrew.
Espacio has had to see 5 relievers come on after John Lester entered the 7th inning today with a no-hitter. This Pirates offense is relentless. It may not always put up big numbers, but can never take it for granted. McCutchen robbed of a hit his last time, trying to extend that 8-game hitting streak.
For that first grand slam.
That would empty this ballpark in a hurry. He was trying.
Came at him. Fastball up. 94.
$40,814 here at Wrigley today. A sunny and cool afternoon. 0-2. Said he went. And McCutchen called out on strikes by Todd Tishner on a swing. And Mark Melanson coming in for the bottom of the 9th. And he'll have a 2-0 lead thanks to Jung Ho Kang.
nice.
Rock, you like that?
Love it. Big stuff.
Jung Ho Kang. Clint Hurl called it a hunch today. Called it by feel. Wanted to play Jung Ho Kang in the third day. He called Neil Huntington. Said, "Is that okay?" He hasn't had a lot of action on the bases or in the field the last 2 days. Neil said, "Sure." Clint said, "All right, I'll put him in the lineup." And he's driven in both runs today. The only runs of the ball game.
That was my tip to win too, wasn't it?
Yes.
Big day for Kang.
Yes.
Yeah.
Give yourself some credit. Now it's up to Mark Melancon.
Cole 8 scoreless, Kang 2 RBIs and a homer, and save from Mark the Shark as he's looking for his 11th in 12 opportunities.
Top of the order, Fowler, Hayward, and Bryant. Fowler looped the ball in that was lost in the sun to start off the first inning. That's one of 3 Cubs base runners today, all hits. Garrett Cole was just wonderful today.
Fun to watch.
Just what the Pirates needed. Cubs scored 8 yesterday, 9 the day before. Cole shuts them out over 8. He's the 1-1. Inside 2-1. They've been here since the beginning. The wind has died down, so some of those balls that were hit well by both teams earlier today won't get knocked down. And the tying run is going to come up with nobody out.
All right. Last pitch, top of the zone, doesn't get the call, just missed with a couple off the inside edge. And with the 2-run lead, you got to be careful about being too fine, because with a 2-run lead, you walk the leadoff hitter. And all of these guys are capable, every one of them, to tie things up with one swing.
First walk issued by Pirate pitching today.
And Melancon with the typically just great control ends up walking the leadoff man, which is very scary.
Jason Hayward without a home run this year, 0 for 3 today. But capable, Rock, you're right. And he's behind 1-0. To say that this game has been entertaining would be an understatement. We still have yet to find out if it will be enjoyable. Another strike. Base hit for Hayward. Fowler thinking third, and he'll get in. And the tying runs are aboard with nobody out in the 9th.
And another reason, you look at the walk, the leadoff walk, you hold the runner on. If there's no runner on first, this is an easy play for whoever's at first base. It's David Freese over there now. But that's just a nice, easy, soft liner, if not holding the runner on. And so, leadoff walk. Don't worry about Fowler. Fowler does not matter. You worry about Hayward. Hayward at first base, the tying run.
So the Pirates gladly pull that infield back, keep it there. Turn 2. For the run, no big deal. Fly ball for the run, no big deal. Outfield. Regular depth for Bryant. Let's get 3 more outs. Shallow center. There's out number 1 and no advance for Fowler.
And if garbage time, and you might want to give Bryant an RBI because the Pirates don't care about Fowler. McCutchen coming in, he's worried about Hayward, so just flips it into second base. It's not a situation where you try to throw the ball into home and allow Hayward to move up 90 feet. That's all you care about, keeping Hayward where he is.
And we talked about this man earlier. He has hit the ball hard today. It was windy earlier that may have cut down 1 or 2 of those long fly balls. One out in the 9th. And ahead, strike 1. For 11 against Melanson. Young even with the bag at third. Fowler, the lead runner. Tying run is Hayward at first. Above average runner. Hit down the line. And Polanco with those good wheels able to get there in time. Here comes Fowler. Makes it 2-1. Give Rizzo his 34th run batted in. It's a 2-1 game, but that's a big second out here in the 9th.
Yes, it is. And the cut fastball, Rizzo thinking of one thing, and that was going deep. He turns on it, but that ball cut into the hands a bit, not off the barrel.
And you talk about that cut fastball from Melanson. That ball moves at the last moment.
Yep. So
hard to square up. That's what makes him so good. And out away from victory. And Zobrist doubled on a hard hit ball back in the 4th. Melanson ahead, strike 1. Trying to win it for Garrett Cole, who was magnificent today. 8 scoreless without a walk, 3 hits, retired the final 13 in a row. Hayward the tying run at first with 2 outs. A good stop by Cervelli. Ho Gung has driven them both in today with a double and a homer. One and strike 2. The Pirates a strike away from victory.
Zobrist unable to pull the trigger on that one. See where Cervelli goes. Does he want to go with the curveball, try to get the chase? Nope, back in with the cutter.
Zobrist stays alive.
That cutter ended up on the outside part of the plate. Zobrist was gearing up to turn on it. Ended up hitting it off the end of the bat.
Anticipating the 1-2. Hayward running, and he'll get in standing with a stolen base. Picked the right pitch to run on.
Pretty good break from Hayward, and with the curveball in the dirt, no chance.
Now a base hit could tie it. Hayward does run pretty well. Melanson, though, a strike away from securing the win. 2-2. High. And full.
Oh, very, very top of the zone.
Which flag will they fly here at Wrigley? Two.
Adjusting to that cutter and trying to get the barrel out front. Recognizes it's going to be inside, right off the right shin.
On a very cold day. Hayward, the potential tying run at second. A run in. 2 outs. A Gong home run in the top half of this inning, the separator right now. Zobrist will see an 8th pitch of this at bat upcoming. Who will win this battle? Pirates win.
Wow. Wow. And that's the defensive shifts. The ball was hit fairly well. J-Hay in deep second, shallow right field, able to go to his left. A tricky little hop off the grass. The throw in town. Big W here. What an effort. Garrett Cole, Jung Ho Kang, Mark Melanson.
What an enjoyable afternoon filled with high drama. And the Pirates finally earned that first win against the Cubs this season. And about as good as it gets. Cole and company, thanks to the bat of Jung Ho Kang, ripping double, and then the home run in the 9th, the difference. And the Pirates take down the Cubs 2-1 today here at Wrigley. And let's go back to our studios with Paul and Teague.
All right, Joe and Rob.